Good morning, fans of the new network. It is James Ernest here with Sarah's Playlist. We are excited to have Justin Bissett of the Runaway Grooms. We're going to be discussing their current album, This Road, and their upcoming performance at Win Wonder Grass Festival. Justin, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So, why are you so excited about Winter Wondergrass Festival?
You know, it when Winter Wonder Gas first came around, it was here in town. I live in Eagle, but it started out in Avon, Colorado, and that's just like 20 minutes down the road. And I just remember going to this festival and being like, man, what an amazing experience to be a part of, you know? And as a fan, as a music fan and as a music lover, never thought about being a musician for it. And and to be able to play it as a musician in a band, to see it back then and to be a part of it now is just like such an amazing turnaround. And it's just it brings together a really just it's just a happy energy. It's just a good energy to be a part of. And I just couldn't be more excited about just like the idea that I'm able to musically be a part of this and show what we can bring to um, this festival that is a bluegrass festival, and we are more of a jam band rock band, so it's cool to give people like a kind of a different genre while we're there too. So just excited to be a part of such an amazing event.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's grown and progressed over the years and is just doing such amazing things. I mean, heck, they got a second one. It's doing so darn well.
I know, and the Tahoe one would be amazing too. um it's and that area is gorgeous as well, so it'd be, one day we'll get the double lineup.
Nice. I was going to say, there's always next year.
Oh
And
yeah, oh yeah.
it sounds like it's going great this year. So things are going wonderful. But I want to start at the very beginning. I want to talk about growing up in Massachusetts.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a great question. Growing up in Massachusetts was, me and Adam grew up together. He was like the first person I've ever met, as a friend besides my brothers and my sister, and I could throw a rock at his house. Basically, that's how close we were. We were right, and I did, and I did, and I made a. We may have broken a few windows or whatnot, but it's great. Like his parents were my parents, and my parents were his parents, and we'd skateboard, we'd rollerblade. We lived on a cul-de-sac where we could, really just be kids and run outside all day long and get called back in for dinner. You know what I mean? It was one of those lifestyles that we grew up and just like extremely blessed to have, because not everyone has that. And it was just a great neighborhood of kids. And Massachusetts has this um, kind of at first glance, this kind of hard approach on people. You know what I mean? There's people are hard, or people are, angry all the time. But I think that's I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think we have a lot of heart. And you know, we we definitely we definitely show you love in maybe hard to get ways sometimes. But we everyone has each other's back. And just Massachusetts alone, Boston, what a with a serious sports city. Grew up, watching Tom Brady era. And you know um it's just an amazing place to live. And I still think I'll reside there. That's going to be my place of probably to go back to, because all my family's there. And Adam's family's there too. But yeah, growing up there, we'd play in the garage. He had a basement, and we'd go jam down in the basement. He played guitar, and I'd be wailing on a drum set that sounded, like pots and pans. And it's kind of just where it all began. Had older brothers to show us the way, and that was a huge impact on our lives too.
Wow, it sounds like it was a great place to grow up, and it sounds like you guys have always been friends.
Yeah, yeah, no, we have. And it's amazing when he moved out here. I had moved out about 10 years ago, and he followed shortly after, and just kind of brought music back in my life. And yeah, I never thought I'd be a drummer. I always had it in the basement, but never thought anything of it. And to have it going again is an absolute blast.
So, which one of you had parents that followed the Grateful Dead?
He had well, my mom loved the Dead. My uncle followed him around a lot. Um, that was a huge part of my life, and he had uncles that followed him around as well. So it was kind of funny. They both definitely a Deadhead family, and it's been an insane impact on our music. And I mean, I think I don't know if there's a day I don't listen to a Dead song. I think they've just been there's like a part of my DNA at this point, and like I think that's what happens. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess I got a shirt on, but that's what happens with like a band like that. They're just not afraid to take risks and kind of bend the sound, and I don't know. They did something different than Tobin in here. And
Yeah,
most bands would.
It's a podcast.
But
I didn't do my makeup today.
no worries. It's all good, buddy. So, yeah, we're
Yeah.
excited about having Justin and, of course, Adam Tobin. So, yeah, shoot. Adam's the vocalist and Justin's the drummer for the Runaway Grooms. But yeah, guys, we're excited about it. That big event. I mean, gosh, yeah, there ain't too many days left until Winter Wonder Grass Festival.
I know it.
Tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow we leave at we'll probably leave at 10 in the morning. We're one of the first band. I think us and a couple other bands are the first bands to kick off the festival, and we got 4 sets tomorrow, which will be fun. We're not used to that, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
We got the music for it, but we're just not used to playing 4 sets in one day, which is going to be exciting. So.
Most jam bands are born on a college campus. That's not the case with you. How did meeting Zach to form the trio in 2017?
Yeah, I'll let you take that one.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach plays a lap steel guitar, and it was something that I had never heard before. And I personally was always playing with people that were playing acoustic instruments and singing folk songs for the most part. And so we weren't in a college dorm, but we were in somewhat of a dormitory, just working at the Tarns, which is the employee housing on Beaver Creek.
Oh.
So and I had just heard his lap steel coming down the hallway, and I had actually currently been just knocking on doors anywhere that I heard music coming out of, and it just so happened that he was playing that guitar, and it really excited me. And what that instrument allowed us to do, I feel like, was extend our music to places that we didn't think they could go to. And none of us have had any formal education in music, so with the jam band scene, it can be a little bit intimidating sometimes, because you're like, oh wow, these kids, they can jam very technically. And so, but for our jam, it was almost out of necessity, because let's just see how long we can take this and where it can go and how weird it can get. And that was fun for us.
And it's never going to sound the same,
All day.
Right.
So, where does the memorable and entertaining name come from, the Runaway Grooms?
Yeah, so I mean, it was kind of just an idea, it was like I remember we were at a show, and I don't know what it was, but you turned to me and you were like, what do you think about the name, the Runaway Grooms?
Oh, you got one of the first questions about it?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, you were like, we were at a show in Vail, and he's like, "What do you think about the name the Runaway Grooms?" And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And he'd be like, "It'd be sick if we had like a female vocalist
Mhm.
and the Runaway Grooms, you know, because we're all running. We all left our wives to run for her, you know what I mean, or like,
or she left to
or,
run away with the groomsmen or whatever.
yeah, the groomsmen,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, like so the idea was kind of a concept of if you imagine the Runaway Grooms as a band that's almost like the backing band for someone else, kind of like the band with Bob Dylan.
Oh, cool.
You know, so they'd be like tattered suits sort of thing and folksy and it would be like one of those bands that can just play around with anybody, you know, like an interchangeable, oh, they're playing with the Runaway Grooms kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
And so that was the original concept. And, you know, it was one of those things where we needed a band name one night. And I think a similar thing happened with the Rolling Stones, where I think not Mick Jagger, what's his name? Keith
Richards.
Keith Richards, or one of them was on the phone with someone, and like the Muddy Waters Rolling Stone like album was on the table.
He's like Rolling Stone,
and he was just like Rolling Stones.
Nice.
So unfortunately, there isn't like maybe fortunately.
Yeah, well, Susan Tedeschi, if you're out there, it'd be like Susan Tedeschi and the Runaway Grooms.
But fortunately,
if you're listening,
yeah, no one actually ran away from a marriage.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to hear.
Yet.
We don't condone that.
So, how do your surroundings affect your lyrically and musically?
Yeah, I mean, well, musically, you know, the mountains are just like one of those places where you can really, you know, take your time and just like reflect, really just sit and reflect on whatever it is that's going through your mind, you know, and you don't have like the city rumble and bustle and like just like the noise and everything like that. You can really kind of get away from that and escape, and it allows you to just breathe. And a lot of times in music, you just breath is the most important part of of jam. Like the space in a song is the most important part of music, and but I think lyrically, you know, I'll let Adam take that because he's the lyricist of the band. But I mean, I think it gives you like this solitude and this peace and a story to tell, and yeah.
I've always been partial to the mountain towns, and even in Western Massachusetts, that's where I wrote a lot of the first album. And I think nature is always like the easiest and most pure metaphor that you can use that anyone can relate to. So I've definitely been inspired a lot by like natural environments and have used those to kind of process emotions and all that. I think our music has evolved where, you know, this environment is a good time environment as well. And so I think when we do write music, sometimes, not always, but we're thinking about what the people and you know that we play for out here like, and you know, and
how do we get them dancing?
They like to move, you know, and they like big sounds, you know. So something that's gonna tickle their fancy, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So he might not be a member of the band, but how did Cody Scott help the Runaway Grooms become who they are today by allowing them to use his inspirational and secluded rehearsal space?
Yeah. Oh man,
I'm so glad you mentioned his name.
I know it's so funny because Cody Scott and Cody Scott, we have two Cody Scotts in our life. It's our keyboardist and then the our buddy who lets us practice in his barn. It's crazy how they both the same name, but seriously, without him, it would be I don't know if we would be as far as we are without having him giving us that practice space, because one, it's incredibly hard to find housing out here. And talk about affordable housing for sure. And then let alone, okay, let's add drums, bass, guitar, and all this volume inside that housing. Now you almost got nowhere to go. So to meet someone like Cody who loves music and has a beautiful family and beautiful, barn that, horses, and just a good headspace to be at, has completely changed our music in general too, allowing us to have that, like, that we can be as loud as we want. We can go outside and just like sit by the river for a minute and, pet a horse, or like what a crazy blessing to have. Because I mean, I think just it's changed our music even in a sense, just to have that free space. But seriously, I think if we met him at a show, and just a local show when we were just a 3-piece band, and he's like, oh, you guys got to come over to my barn and jam one of these days, and then turn back 4 years later and we're still practicing in his barn. It is an amazing place to be. I really think we'd be a different band without him.
So if he's a pleasure and a treat and been able to really help the band, I think this other member might be considered a curse at times, but still definitely for the band. Old Betty.
Oh yeah.
Her role.
Yeah.
Where is she now?
Wow, I couldn't even tell you where old Betty is now. Well, actually, we sold it to some guys down in Denver. They came up and took it away from us, but
she got us where we needed to go.
She got us where we needed to go. She really pissed us off when she had to piss us off, and
oh my God, we had so many good times back in there.
So many good times, and so now we have
Betty White.
Betty White. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So Black Betty was kind of like, she was
old in her ways.
Old.
She was old and in her ways,
Betty White's an angel.
Betty White's, yeah, just an angel now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Literally, we got the same exact van in white.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's
with less miles,
with about 100,000 less miles on it. So it's just funny how it goes in circles.
So what makes the road such a beast, and what can you do to tame it?
Well, that's a great question. Well, it's funny to tame it, I guess, for us this year is we
to avoid it.
And all to avoid it. Well, no, we just decided, we did the road for, really hard, and we haven't really given Colorado as much love as we wanted to give it. And that's like our home base, and we want to really take advantage of Colorado because it's got an insane music scene. And so we're going to stay back. This year is going to be focused on Colorado runs and, Denver, Boulder, here in the mountains, and all around, some of these mountain towns like Silverton and Winter Park. And so we're going to stay back from the road, but I think what makes the road such a beast is just kind of like a survival thing, right? Like you don't, some shows you're not getting paid much, and you're putting your heart out there. And when you're paying more on food than you made at a show, it starts to drain your account. And, so financially it can be a burden too.
It's physical strain, and trying to make it to all of the shows in a consecutive order. You're driving so much that that's all you're really doing, and you're not sleeping much. Sometimes that's the big one, is you're not sleeping much.
Mm-hmm. And when you are, it's on a bench. When you're hitting potholes, you're just like waking up.
We definitely have had our times where we were partying quite a bit, but we since aren't into that as much anymore because you really can't be, and
Yeah.
like then show up and still perform. And like, so we've actually been good. Like we'd get gym. We had gym memberships at the Planet Fitness.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're Black Card members, and so that's been great for us to tame the beast because we can show up into any town and go to Planet Fitness and get out and stretch and work out and feel rejuvenated again.
That's some of the best shape of my life is actually after a tour.
This is your personal trainer right here.
Which is kind of odd. You don't really say like you're in your best shape of your life when you get done a tour. So tours can be rejuvenating at the same time. And you know what? There's so much that has come from being on the road, just
That's
like
beautiful.
building a friendship. Even like we've grown just as deeper friends, you know, because you're just testing each other. You're constantly with each other. It's like, you know, it's a relationship, you know, like it's it's just a family, and and you're just okay, what can I do to help you, you know, or I see you're going through something, let's talk, you know, or let's go on a walk down the beach. California is like my favorite places to tour, and you're just seeing these beautiful places, and you're like, when else are you going to be able to do this? Right now, you know, with your friends, you know, it's like, wow, even put the music aside, you're just seeing the country, and it's incredible.
That is phenomenal. So you mentioned the Black Card. Do you all use the hydro or the cryo?
Hydro.
The hydro, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I was gonna say I have to have though the one that's angled. I can't do the flat one for some reason.
Yeah, the angled one's a little better.
Well, they got these red light therapies now in some of these places.
Oh, really?
Ooh. Oh,
yeah.
Mine doesn't have that. So yeah, I'll have to check that out. Red light.
Yep.
Where are you at now?
Oh, Cincinnati.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. We caught a Cincinnati Reds game once.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
we were on tour. They're the oldest
franchise.
They're the oldest baseball team, right?
Yeah.
Oldest franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So they used to play against themselves, or what?
Nah, they had other kind of like the other teams don't exist anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So now you mentioned food. When you're on the road, do you feel an obligation to sample the local cuisine?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We try to avoid Starbucks, and you know, we're big Dunkin' guys because we have to be.
Boston,
you know, we're born and raised on Dunkin'. You know,
Dunkin' IV.
So yeah, we try to get as much, you know, of the local cafes, or you know, who's got the best coffee. You know, we love coffees. Who's got the best coffee in town? That's always a fun thing to do. Some of us are suckers with the acai bowls, and that'll just drain your account quick. But but some, you know, even those are great. And Indian food, and yeah, we definitely dabble in the local cuisine.
Nice. Now, does it affect your performance if you're performing for 200 versus say 20,000? I mean, you're probably very consistent, I would think.
Yeah, you know what? I'd say the more people, the better we play. I swear. I feel like it's like this. You you feed off the crowd very much. You know, the crowd is just as much of a player as the band is. You know, if you have a weak crowd, it's going to be hard to really get into it. You know, and if you got a crowd that's cheering you on and is electric, and I mean, you're going to match their energy. You know,
the gravity of it.
Yeah.
But if you play for 200 people in a small room too, you get somewhat of the same effect.
Yep.
Because then you're so close to that gravity, and it just feels like you're surrounded by it. So you get the same effect if you're in a smaller room with a couple hundred.
Mm-hmm. But no matter what, you play like it's your last show. You know, is a mentality that we try to go with is, you know, whether there's one person in the room or, you know, 1,000 people in the room, it doesn't matter. You play it's your last time, because it's it's gonna be a lot more fun that way.
So fans and critics have called you a combination of the Allman Brothers and the Grateful Dead. How does that make you feel?
Awesome.
Amazing. It's gonna be more proud. Yeah,
I love hearing that.
yeah. It's you know like you asked earlier, we grew up on that stuff, Allman Brothers and the Dead, and it's like I said, it's like just our DNA, and like to have it resonate to you know having similarities in our music that we create is cool, because I think we bring an older sound back to the jam scene. Not maybe not necessarily as like polished and you know taking risks and having fun doing it. I think is what we kind of like to do.
Yeah, I think what made those guys so timeless is sort of their roots with like blues and rock and roll music and American music. And so it excites me to just continue that tradition. And of course, we play music as well that's quite different. Yeah, in a lot of other ways too. But I think to me, it's got a lot of soul, and I think people feel that.
I can imagine another thing that excites you all is when the fans are singing along to your songs. Tell
Yeah.
us about that and how much joy it brings to you.
Man, yeah. The first time I saw that, it blew me away.
Yeah.
And it's cool, like it just really shows that okay, they've listened to this music and they listen to it on their free time, and that gives them joy, and that brought them here tonight to the show. And like it's just it's such a cool connection that like, all right, you didn't have to twist someone's arm to get them to the show, and like we do all these marketing tactics and whatnot. And like it's such a drain to have to do all these marketing things, and like to just know that the music is speaking for itself.
Yeah.
When you see someone out there singing along, is probably the greatest compliment and the greatest relief even. And for me also to see it go from paper to coming out of someone else's mouth is cool. And yeah,
It's a win.
it's a win. And that's like the ultimate connection right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So you might not have been given advice when you all were starting out, but now that you've been doing it for a while, what advice would you give to someone who's starting out?
That's a
Stay focused.
Yeah, stay focused, and don't be afraid to take risks. You know, be uncomfortable. Put yourself in that uncomfortable place, and it's pretty amazing what you'll find.
I would say too, before you really like start touring a lot or hitting the road, um just get comfy with your music, and really believe in it and love it and love your product, and then um it'll make you more motivated to go out and want to share it with everybody.
So not the road, but this road. How have people been responding to it? The fans, the critics, what have they been saying about this road?
So I think so far so good.
Yeah.
I think it's been really well received, and you know, we have this one friend who's gone through some hardship, and we wrote Heartwork, and he's actually a couple of friends have reached out and been like, man, just have Heartwork on repeat. It's just getting me through my day, and like to see that, it's like, wow, like you can impact someone's day like positively when they're going through such hard times, is like that feels really good. And so I think like that's been one particular good feedback about this road. You know, getting people through some hard times with that. And
I think people have heard it and thought it's probably our most mature album yet, which I think makes sense. And I think it's starting to capture a bit more of the sort of accumulation of what we are and at our nexus, at our core. And obviously that will shift and change a little bit, but you know, going from really folksy to okay, more jam and jazzy, funky oriented to all right, this album kind of has a like a mature folk rock Americana with some psychedelia. And so like I feel like finally, even with the new music that we're writing now, I feel like we're just starting to like find our groove, you know, and this road is a good taste of that.
it is.
Yeah.
For sure.
During the intro, there's a part that is very similar to birds singing at dawn that turns into a mind-blowing sunrise. Is that a fair comparison?
Nice.
I like that.
That's sweet. Mr. Ford? Is that?
Yes,
No,
yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Ford, yeah.
Wait, can you say that again? That was awesome.
Oh, yeah, sure. At the beginning of it, there is a part where a bird, it's very comparable to a bird singing at dawn that turns into a mind-blowing sunrise.
Yes,
I
that's
love
sweet.
that. Honestly, I don't know if you could capture it any better in an image.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty spot on. You know, especially with Jacob, our buddy's flute, kind of brings this like little like kind of bird song to it. And you know, lately our thing's been like having an instrumental song, you know, in an album, and trying to keep at least one instrumental in there just to kind of make yourself have what you just have, you know, like imagine where you are and what you can bring to that. And I think that's pretty spot on. Yeah.
Sweet.
You know, it starts pretty mellow and then ends in a bang. That's yeah. I couldn't think of anything better.
Cool. Well, and then another thing that is great about that album, of course, is your engineer, Jeremy Horn. Tell us about working with him.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's just such a friend and such a motivation and such a just an encouraging spirit. And we have the freedom to do what we want in his space, and he's got everything we need, and he's got all the sort of the old style techniques, which is what we like, because he used to work for Ardent Studios in Memphis, Memphis.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's just a joy to work with. And if there's something you don't think you can do, he's right there to tell you that you can. And he's there to just bring this like spirit of like, you know, he literally is like, I got to go to church, guys. Cause he's, you know, he runs the music program at church. And he says, you're not allowed to leave the house. You have to write a song today. And that's where Heartwork came from. So it's stuff like that. And we're in his home, his family, we're eating dinner with his family. It's just really special.
Yeah.
To work with him.
Yeah, exactly. He just has this kind of bright energy, bright attitude, positive, you know. If you like he's good at reading you, you know. If he senses that you're in your head about something, he'll come up and be like, "Hey, take a minute. Let's take a minute." And, you know, kind of figure it out with you. And make sure it's exactly what you want. And that's important as well, you know. And we've never worked with a producer. ever, we make our song, and that's how our song is. And we had all of our songs lined up, and that's how they were. But he gave us great intel and been like, what if you change this right here, or what if maybe we added this right here, and he, he's got a creative mind that, like, we're like, yeah, you're right, that really would be awesome. And to allow us to have like a bigger space to, we recorded this live, so everyone was in the mix together, and it, wasn't on a click. We played these songs live, and to have like a space that big to capture really who we are was insanely beneficial as well.
That is awesome. Well, Justin, Adam, it has been a pleasure having you guys on the show, talking about the Runaway Grooms, talking about your new album, This Road, talking about Winter Wondergrass Festival. So thank you guys for joining us. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can our listeners find out more about you?
Yep. Anything the Runaway Grooms. You type in the Runaway Grooms, you might get a couple sad photos of brides and grooms or whatever. But other than that, you're gonna find us. So just anything the Runaway Grooms.
Yeah.
You'll see us. Yeah. Thanks for having us on here.
Welcome.